What's up, my friends? Welcome into another day of the Run Your Day podcast. Dan Hafner joining you this morning, Thursday morning, my friends. Today's topic is this: the highs and the lows. As always, thank you all for joining. Appreciate you guys. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about feedback. The feedback and the highs and the lows that result from that feedback. So, oh man, I speak about this today because yesterday was a day for me. It was interesting. There was a day full of collaboration, full of conversation, and feedback from a lot of different people. And although I had many different takeaways, many different things I learned, just a lot of different things going on. The main takeaway I had was there's highs and lows. There's highs and lows to feedback, right? We respond differently to positive feedback than we do to negative feedback. Do you allow yourself to get too high on the positives or too low on the negatives? You know, because there's gifts and there's positives out of every form of feedback. Hey, Chico. Got my buddy Chico with me today on the show. Say hi, Chico. Hey, buddy. You can hear him licking my face. Where was I? Yes. So the feedback, right? I mean, there's highs and lows. And my problem has been, maybe you can relate to this. My problem has been that I would get way too high when I would receive positive feedback, way too high on myself. And I still probably do this. Just allowing myself to go down this rabbit hole of, man, I am the best. I have conquered everything. I know everything there is to know about something. I am on top of the world. And then you swiftly get, slapped in the face and told that you're not somehow through an experience or through another person, and it comes crashing down, right? Or you receive negative feedback or constructive criticism, as some people like to call it. And, I used to really allow constructive criticism to just really wreck me, like completely wreck my mental ability to function, like just completely. And although I've made pretty big strides in this area, and maybe you have also, there's always room for improvement. There's always that little bit of trigger in each of us that is a little bit, off-put or upset or angry when somebody tries to give us constructive criticism or negative feedback, whatever you want to call it. And the more that happens to me, the more I kind of realize that, that trigger never really goes away. Like, as much as you want it to, as much as we want it to, it never goes away. Like, there's always a part of us that thinks we're perfect. There's always a part of us that thinks that we are flawless. We know everything, right? But we don't. We don't know everything. We do not know what we do not know. And on the other side of this is the ability to really just accept feedback for what it is. Accept feedback for what it is, and it's just course correction to get where you want to go, right? Like, think about a heat-seeking missile, right? You've seen them in movies, or maybe you're in the military, like whatever, like, right? Just the concept of a heat-seeking missile. It gets launched from a machine or a rocket launcher or whatever you want to call it, and it's heading towards the target. And the target is where you ultimately want to go. You are the heat-seeking missile. Now, there's all kinds of computers and things that control the missile, and all those computers are doing is giving it feedback on how to course correct to get to the actual target. The target might be moving. The target might be constantly changing, right? And if the missile is off course even just a little bit, if it veers to the left because of an obstacle, the computers give it feedback to veer back to the right and get back on course, right? So in that little sway there, it's giving it negative feedback, saying, hey, you're off course, and then it starts drifting back. Okay, boom. All right, there you go, right? So the heat-seeking missile, I think, is a really good analogy for how we kind of go about our days and our lives, right? Like we're just going along, we're working towards a goal, a target we have. We start going off course, and if you're lucky, if you're a lucky person, you'll have people in your life that will step in and see, okay, you're really not doing what you should be doing, or wow, you're actually doing a really good job. You're actually further along than you think you are, right? And that can be kind of hard to accept too. Like when somebody comes in and really gives you like glowing, like, you know what, like you are absolutely crushing it. You're doing well. And that can be even more dangerous, right? Because then we get complacent. That leads to complacency. When somebody just pats you on the back, strokes your ego all the time and is just like, hey, you know what, Dan, you are killing it, bro. Like you are absolutely crushing it. You are the best, blah, 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 blah. It's just an ego stroke. And then you get complacent. Then you get lazy. You think you've made it and you think you've won. Why keep pushing? It's a devil on both ends, right? It's a devil on both ends. But as I said before, there's a possibility in here where, you can just get to the place where you accept feedback for what it is. So whether you're high on yourself, whether you're low on yourself, I get it. I've been there. I'm still there sometimes. Like I'm still there. Like that's kind of why I did this show today. Like I'm still there. And the thing to realize about it never really goes away, right? You just kind of learn how to utilize it better. You learn how to leverage it a little bit better to get what you ultimately want. So my question for you today is as I wrap up the show, where in your life are you getting too high and where are you getting too low? Is it in your job, your relationship, your spiritual being, your fitness, your self-worth, your self-identity? There's an area in your life where you tend to get too high and you tend to get too low. And you might not think so, but if you dig a little bit, I'll bet you'll find that area. And what can you do to start just accepting feedback for what it is and try to stay even keeled and not get too high and not get too low? So where in your life is that? I challenge you to think about this today. This is definitely something that I need to dig into some more as well. So as always, thank you all for joining. Really appreciate you guys coming on and listening to the show every single day. As always, Dan Hafner. I want to give you guys one quick reminder. If you haven't heard in previous episodes, do have an app coming out here at the end of the month. Probably around Memorial Day is when I'm shooting to get that out. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really cool. As always, just stay tuned for updates. If you haven't heard, go back and listen to previous episodes. I outline kind of what it's about. So it's going to be really, really, really awesome. So as always, thank you all for joining. Really appreciate you guys. Dan Hafner signing off. Make it a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.